Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Concealer Fest. And today I've got a sample of the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer to try out. I had very good luck with the foundation, and that was thanks to you all recommending that I try it. And here we are, we're going to try the concealer. Retails for $29, comes in 22 different shades it looks like, and I'm going to try the shade 220 light medium peach because the light shade that they have in here, the fair shade, is a warm fair, so that's not going to work for me. This is vegan and cruelty free. They describe it as a pro performance multi-use concealer that visibly lifts, blurs, and brightens your under eyes and complexion for an awakened appearance. It's got caffeine for reducing puffiness, fermented marine microorganisms to smooth skin with collagen-like stimulation and a visibly tightening effect. That should be interesting. Natural finish, medium coverage. Let's hope I've got enough in here to swatch shade 220 against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's concealer from Makeup by Mario, the Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer in shade 220 Light Medium. Second, I've got from NARS, the Radiant Creamy Concealer in Vanilla. Third up is from Haus Labs, the concealer in shade 12 Light Rosy. And last, I've got from Maybelline, the Age Rewind Concealer in Fair. Alright, I've got a damp sponge from Wet n Wild. These come out every Halloween, at least the last couple of years, and they give me so much joy. Wet n Wild sponge, get it at CVS. I just picked mine up yesterday. And the other side, I will use a brush. I've got my Angie Hot and Flashy BK Beauty A506, the Kitten Paw brush. Let's see here. They really do not give you a whole lot of product to start with. Now I do have some makeup going on already because I just kind of forgot what order I was doing my makeup in. And let's start with the sponge. This is a little darker than I would normally wear, but I do find these days that going too light is usually looks worse on me than going too dark. Going too light, I tend to get, it just ages me. It makes all the lines under my eyes look way more obvious. And going too dark doesn't do that. I would say that's actually not bad coverage for a sponge application. This is a thicker formula for sure. But we got some pretty good dark circle coverage happening. You can really tell the purple is gone, which that's another benefit of going just a smidge darker for me, is that it hides my purple better. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. Let's try the brush side. You can tell this one has just a smidge of an orangey tone to it, which is good for canceling out purple. It's the opposite on the color wheel, so it will cancel out. Now, I don't know if it's because this is a sample, but this is a really dry formula. It's kind of a tacky, thick formula. That's not bad. It's just means you have to kind of manipulate it a little bit more to get it to blend out. And that could just be because of the itsy bitsy tiny amount of product that they give you inside of these sample cards. It would be nice if I could wear the same sample for a few days, but not so with this one. All right. I think with the brush side, it's clinging a little bit to dry skin that I've got under my eyes and on the side of my bridge of my nose here. Just a smidge. I think the coverage is a little better on the brush side. Let's take just a little smidge to try and even out the coverage over here, and I'm just going to tap it in with the brush on that darkest part of my under eye. All right. Let's zoom in so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. It is a little bit heavy on the brush side. I'm going to say I definitely think this thicker formula performs a little, it blends out a little bit nicer on with a damp sponge versus with the brush. I do like the sponge side quite a bit more. It just looks more smooth and less clingy. It blended out nicer. I think it blended out nicer. The coverage is lovely. They definitely, you're getting your medium coverage for sure. It just looks a little more obvious on my fine lines on the brush side than it does on the sponge side. I am going to take my damp sponge and just take it on this side a little bit and see if this is something we can kind of get it melted in a little bit. Yeah, I think I just have a little more peeling going on the bridge of this nose, this side of my nose, and that's just making the lines a little bit more obvious, but this side looks nice and smooth, so that is where we are starting out. I do feel like I took a little bit of the coverage away. Oh, let's try and put a little bit of the coverage back. I'm just going to tap it in with my fingertip. All right. I think we're good. I usually don't like to mess with my eye area this much, so that could be a downside if the full-size product is equally thick. You know, it just, in the ease of application, could be better. All right, let's check the time. It is 2:18. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. Back with the Mario concealer. It did kind of freeze my deepest lines on each side into place, so I'm just tapping it out a little bit to see if that is a situation that can be rectified by eliminating whatever excess product had moved around those lines. But we'll see if that holds. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. That is where we will start out as far as that goes. So I'm going to go about the rest of my day. I'll wear this all day. I'll come back later on tonight. We'll see how it wore. We'll see how it held up, and we'll see if it moved around. It does have some really nice coverage, though. I'm gonna give it that. All right, I will see you guys tonight. 10:15 p.m. That puts us just past the 8-hour mark. Let's take a look at how our Mario Surreal Skin Concealer held up. Considering I did not put any primer on my under eyes, I think it held up really, really well. The only real complaint I have is the same as when we started out, and that is that the thicker / drier formula froze a few of my lines under my eyes in place so that they were kind of always visible. But it didn't happen with all of my lines. It was really just the deepest under each side. And for that reason, I think it's not a deal breaker. And we also may be able to alleviate some of that with primer. I generally don't set things with powder under my eyes if I can avoid it, but I will keep playing around and see if I can come up with any ways to improve its performance. But I think this one performed really well. The coverage is really nice. My under eyes do not feel dry. I don't think they look dry. So I think it handled the dryness factor plenty fine. I think it's got a few hours left even. This eye, where I had gone back and used the sponge after the brush and then had to add some coverage back, I do feel like I lost a little bit of coverage there, which may have just been the technique because it didn't do it on this side where I had done the brush the whole way through. So I would say maybe go with the brush for this particular one, but overall, if I had to give a grade to the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Awakening Conditioner. What? concealer. It's late at night, y'all. I'm in the middle of catching up on MasterChef. Concealer. If I had to give it a grade, I'm gonna go A-. I was on a B+ fence there, but I do feel like because it stayed true to not drying out my under eyes, I'm gonna forgive it the little heavier dry texture. We're gonna go A- because I think the coverage does look nice. It's a very nice finish, and I think it performed well. So there you have it. Another episode of Concealer Fest is in the books. If you like concealer reviews, if you had fun with this one, give me a thumbs up down below. Let me know in the comments what I should try next. Hit me up on Patreon. You can make requests over there as well. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Right, Ziva? Take care of each other. Bye-bye.